Hi everyone, in this tutorial I start creating a mesh, based on a clay sculpture by DeviantArt. We click on Panel Base Image to load our reference image. Double-click to select the computer image. Let's start creating a goblin head. With Meshmolder it is possible to create organic and hard surface meshes. Meshmolder will soon have materials in a render system under study, Meshmolder, and a Mac version is already in development. So we can now start our model with the Move tool, so from the primary sphere we start creating the base of our model head. Even though I don't have much knowledge of modeling and sculpting, Meshmolder makes it easy to create what you want. To constantly change the size of the brush, you can activate the on-screen sizing menu with the space key and controlling the size also with the central mouse button. The image base panel can be shrunk and enlarged as well, and you can leave it anywhere on the screen. Now I use the flatten tool to flatten the sides of the head mesh. Okay, now let's create the goblin neck. For that we use Meshmolder masking. Activation of masking is done with the Control key being pressed. There are several types of masking that we will see later. To change the masked area, we click on Ctrl and Alt. Then we press the right mouse button. I know here I'm focusing on using it without a tablet, but in another tutorial I'll show you that on a tablet it's pretty easy too. To remove the masking, make a selection outside the mesh and continue the sculpting process. Here we create the neck. One thing we must take care of when using remesh in stretched regions, it can cause a final failure as you will see here. This is because remesh works well for meshes with more even distribution. Now I'm going to use automatic retopology to make the mesh more uniform. I could also use automatic uniform, but I'll demonstrate this on another occasion. This head looks like root, I need to make it rounder. An experienced modeler would knit this mesh very quickly. The idea is to show that anyone with little modeling experience can actually create great parts without a difficult interface to learn. Okay, let's use some brushes to make our creature's face. In this first tutorial we make the general form, and in the others we will add details. To make the brushes remove mesh, instead of inserting, just hold down the Alt key. One of the tools you should use the most when sculpting will be the brush wax, which we will see later in use. Always use remesh to increase mesh details. Automatic retopology will be used more with the idea of making the mesh lighter and with more evenly distributed points. On tablets you control the intensity according to the pressure of the pen, but on the computer you need to adjust the intensity when sculpting. By clicking the Shift button and holding down, the drawing circle turns yellow, indicating it is in smooth mode. I don't try to make it look exactly like the model. We can use creativity and change a lot as we create. For those who are starting in the art of sculpting in 3D, it is necessary to have a lot of patience and make several adjustments until you get practice and get good results. The art of carving is also the art of being patient. With the standard brush and the Alt key pressed, we placed the mesh underneath to make the nostrils. To join the line that we use the crease tool, we will now use the pinch tool, very useful for hard surface as well, as we will see in the future. Now let's make use of brushes and improve our model here and there. The idea of the tutorial is to clarify a little how the workflow in Meshmolder is. In the next months I should teach how to block and use other functions like cut and split. Small adjustments according to the reference image. Small actions with the move tool will be used a lot to achieve your goal. This tutorial demonstrated getting started and the possibilities with using Meshmolder. With time and an intuitive screen, any idea comes to life. Remember to continually save your model, and we'll see you in the second part of this tutorial shortly. Stay with God.